Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel, I'm for Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I have in here it is the Lightmatter. This game it is developed by the Tunnel Vision Games and they are using Unity engine. So this developer team behind this game, this is their first project and yet I believe they are starting really well with their work. This is pretty much a puzzle based game which learns a lot, or it seems that it learned a lot and takes a lot of elements from Portal games. And by saying this, I'm not saying that you can create portals in this game, it's not really the case, but you can see just by the covers, the scenario, and yeah, all this type of lab environment, it seems that it is very Portal-ish style, not to mention many other stuff about this game. This game really drinks a lot of stuff from Portal and yet it is able to stay unique in its core gameplay and it earns a lot of a good fashion comedy inside of this, bringing references also from other games, which is amazing. So we are here today to test it out, the performance for this game. I'm pretty sure you are very anxious to see how it performs, since one of the complaints on Steam reviews have been the performance of this game. But before showing you the results, I'm trying to find one of the biggest spots in this game for showing you the differences in the performance, and while this is going, you can actually see the scenario. So for now it seems like a regular puzzle game where you are not really solving puzzles, you are just getting introduced into the world, as you can see. So it seems a regular walking simulator game into some sort of a future lab that resembles a lot of Portal. And as you can see, performance it is varying all over the place, so it's very dynamic. This game, unfortunately, its performance it isn't really too much stable. So in a second you can be having 70, on the other second you can be having 30s. So we are here at the place that I want. So I'm playing the game in here with maximum settings aside from volumetric lighting, because in most of the game the only thing that affects performance it is really the volumetric lighting. And as you can see, as soon as I switch to off I lose a couple of frames, and when I switch to full I get under 30 frames per second just by changing the quality of the volumetric lightings. Alright, the other options also affects the performance, but honestly, despite at this point it is affecting more than usual, I can assure you that throughout the rest of the game there are sequences where you can change the shadows and a lot of stuff, and that is barely a performance difference. But for me, I really think that the best settings for this game it is to go completely maxed out, but use the volumetric lighting at quarter quality. I think it's essential for you to have volumetric lights you can disable, but if you disable volumetric lighting it completely ruins the scenarios and the feeling of this game, because in this game you will be messing around a lot with the lights and shadows. But before starting more about the game, let's jump into the stuff of the results and the requirements. For the requirements, these guys recommend, they require an R9 270, so we are already below the minimum requirements on the graphic card, and what a shame, yeah, seriously. But if you look to the results, it says other thing. So I've tested the game with 5 different settings. I've tested the game with maximum settings where I got an experience, a mixed experience. I've seen frame rate going lower than 30 frames per second. Also I've tested the game with TI settings, which uses pretty much the maximum settings but with volumetric lighting set to off. I got an experience above 30 frames per second pretty much all the time. It was good, to not say the least. So you can play at high settings with no issues. But with the median settings you start to see downgrades, not only with the volumetric quality set to quarter, which is what we are using in this video, but you also lose like shadow definition, shadow reflection, so you start to notice some downgrades in other stuff aside from volumetric lighting. And by using that setting I got an average of 49 with the 1% low of 38, so I think it's rather acceptable to you if you want to use. The low settings, it is what really provides an experience above 60 frames per second but unfortunately and very honestly I wouldn't use that for myself because the graphics difference it is huge. It disables volumetric lighting, which makes the game static being really different than what is supposed to. So my custom setting in here, which is pretty much very high settings but with volumetric lighting set to quarter, I got an experience above 30 frames per second with an average of 48 frames per second and a 1% low of 32. So I would say that whatever, if you go with my custom settings, high or median, all of these three are good choices in my opinion. None of them provides an experience above 60 frames per second, it is true, but still it is rather acceptable if you ask me. Just don't use maximum settings because you lose frames under 30 frames per second, and also don't use low settings too because the graphics quality really downgrades a lot to a point that makes the game to look very differently. So now about the game. What the hell is this game? So this is a puzzle game. Like I said, this takes a lot of references from Portal and it feels kind of similar to the Talos principle. But what is this game about? I mean, what's the puzzles? I mean, it is portals, it is placing stuff and doing lasers like the Talos principle. What is this? Well, this game, it is essentially one single rule. You can't touch or put your feet into a shadow. So basically it is like the floor is lava, but in this case the lava, it is the shadows. So wherever you go into this game, you need to have light with you. So this is a very interesting concept. I wasn't really expecting this, and I'm kind of shocked because I discovered this game because I was randomly going on YouTube and I discovered this game out of nowhere. Nobody told me about this game, I haven't seen anything about this game, and this game, it is simply amazing. If you like puzzle games like Portal, if you enjoy the Talos principle, this game, it is amazing. I don't understand how the hell nobody is talking about this. Amazing stuff. And also, there is a free demo on Steam, so in case you are not really convinced about my words, or in case you are not convinced with what you are seeing in here, you can go to Steam. They offer 1 hour of gameplay. It's not one certain hour, it is a ton of levels for you to try out. In fact, what I'm trying out in here, it is the demo version, so you can go to Steam and try the game just right away, because it is available there for free. And in case you want the full game, the cost for this game is so low that makes me wonder what the hell are these guys thinking. This game costs 16.79 euros. This is the launch price for this game. This is a very cheap game. So, and despite how cheap it is, if you read the comments from the users on Steam, you will see that most of the people are really satisfied with the game, with the downsides being only the performance, because this game can be very demanding for lower end systems, and the performance, it is very different from puzzle to puzzle, depends on the lights and volumetric lights being used. And also, other complaints is that there are bugs in some puzzles, as it seems, according to some comments, which prevents you to go forward. But I mean, the game, it is very recent. At the point of this video, they just released the game like 3 days ago, so I'm pretty sure they will patch the game. Whatever or not, this game received a ton of prizes from, you know, festivals, from indie games and stuff like that. So it received a lot of prizes, and it seems a really good game, in my opinion. At least for what I've played, it is like playing Portal all over again. So guys, that's all that I want to talk about. Oh my god, I even forgot the name of the game. Lightmatter. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
We wash crystals with over 1,000 bars of pressure. If it helps your comprehension, you may call it the power shower. here's the plan. The elevator dropped you to the center of the mountain, and the only functioning exit is at the top. Follow the green exit signs, and you'll get there. Just do exactly as I say, and you will be fine. If you want to complain about that, well, I can't hear you. Just realize how fortunate you are. You've extended your tour through Lightmatter technologies. It's unfortunate that the board voted against installing microphones throughout the facility. Their main concern being ethical ramifications. Good thing we still have cameras. Ah, excellent. Do you see that lamp down there? Pick it up. Handy, isn't it? Focus groups called it heavy and clunky. I called them weak and stupid. In the hands of a capable miner, that lamp turns into one of their finest tools. Listen, I know that the shadows might look intimidating to you. A deep black obsidian-like tar that will devour you whole. But they're just simple gravity-bound anomalies. A temporary side effect of light matter. You see, all of mankind's greatest breakthroughs had their kinks, and these kinks are manageable. If they weren't, I wouldn't be here in the facility fixing them. You know that I was the first to wander through these caves? Although I came here with my former partner, Arthur, I was the one who discovered the photon crystals. You might have heard that the side effects of those same crystals cost me my leg. Wrong. I conquered a mountain for the first photon crystal. Sheer persistence and willpower cost me my leg. A small price to pay for light matter. Ah, there it is. Now, since you missed your tour, that giant beam of light you see is light matter. The source of that beam we call the core, a collection of massive photon crystals. It is so powerful that it shakes the very foundation of this facility. I still remember my first successful prototype. The beam seemed so solid, it looked like light had become matter. I built on that, and now look at it. A sustainable and renewable energy source that will save humanity. Yes, the launch today failed, but these shadows will not deter me from bringing light matter into fruition. Now that I think about it, where were you during the launch event? All guests were taken directly to the tram, so you must have snuck away somehow. What exactly were you doing? Wait, Are you a health and safety inspector? The irony that you didn't notice the blaring sounds and flashing lights. That's a problem with safety procedures. They can never be idiot-proof. So, Health and Safety Inspector, let me do your job for you. You see that giant piece of metal moving back and forth? It's a top-grade mineral decontaminator. I installed it as soon as I heard that my employees were losing their hair. Once installed, cellular degradation fell by 37%.